sauce and book finesse. Mix them up, that's your best. This is the best show. Guiding your souls to grow. Helping you find your flow.
All right, y'all, welcome back to the Best Bet Show. I am your host, Best Bet Dan, and boy, we got a show for you guys today. I actually got my first guest of the season. Well, I'm going to get into that a little bit later, but first and foremost, this is the show that you come to as a teenager, as a young adult, to really just to get game for life and really get skills that will give you the best bet to create the life of your dreams. So before we jump into anything today, I finally brought a physical copy of the book with me. Get More from the Game. It is available on Amazon. Go get that. You need that in your life. If you're listening to it, like right now, I'm holding it up right in front of the camera so you can see it. Definitely go get yourself a copy on Amazon, or you can go to my website, bestbetlife.com. Go to my website and get it, bestbetlife.com, so you can see all the other great stuff I got on there. But no, I wanted to keep a physical copy in studio, and I kept forgetting. But now, boom, here we go. So that's going to stay in studio. And y'all going to see this on every single episode. All right. So let's talk about our guests for today. So our guests for today are Jairon and Zay Ingram. They're a couple. They're married, and they actually are students in Best Bet Skills Academy. And they've recently started a business called Leveraging Success, where they are building credit. So we're going to talk to them and have a conversation and just hear more about their journey. But even more so, we're going to hear about how Best Bet Skills Academy has impacted them and how it has been a game changer in their progress and in their development as young entrepreneurs. So it's going to be super excited. And the side note, me and Jairon, so I met Jairon first, and we met in a crazy place. So we're going to get into that. It is actually kind of wild. But yeah, let's get into the episode, and here goes the interview right here. Jairon and Zay, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you guys here. How we doing today?
So much for having us.
Definitely.
Word. It's interesting. Before I kind of get into the questions, I want to so we met in jail.
Yeah, we did. Funny enough, yes.
We met in jail. And so I got from my perspective, I want to hear from your perspective on just our first meeting. Tell everybody what that was like, because I met Jairon first.
Yeah, definitely. So our first encounter, it's not as how he said it. I'm actually a correctional officer, or a former correctional officer, and Dan, he was actually there to speak to the youth that day. Lucky enough for me, I was with that group that day. And after hearing Dan speak, I'm like, it's so much knowledge that he just gave to the kids, and I don't even think the kids just process like what just happened. You know what I mean? And from there, after his presentation was done, which was excellent, by the way, I had to connect with Dan on another level, and he introduced me to Best Bet Dan Academy. And I'm like, yeah, definitely, I definitely want to sign up, get going with that, learn as much as possible.
Well, hold on, let me stop you. So first of all, you was definitely locked in. It's funny because when I be speaking, I pay attention to the room. And it was a couple of times you said that to the kids. You was just like, y'all don't realize what he's saying. What he's saying. And I was like, oh, he locked in. And so we exchanged Instagram, and yours was private. So remember, it's funny because that was the first day I spoke there. And I ended up speaking there for I want to say 5 or 6 weeks straight. And I never saw you again at the jail. And you never added me on the gram. So I was waiting. I was low key I was like, yo, all right, I want to connect with bro because I think I can help him. But then a few times I went back and searched nah, he still ain't accept me. He still ain't accept me.
Granted, the job, it can take a lot out of you sometimes. So
I believe that. I believe that.
It was just the timing of things.
Right. So I ended up running into you at the Y. That's how we actually really because I seen you and I was like, no, it wasn't the Y. It wasn't the Y. It was LA Fitness.
It was LA Fitness.
It was LA Fitness. Yes. Which is kind of crazy in and of itself because number one, my membership did not in Rochester, we had the two brands, LA Fitness and the Sporta. So I was signed up for a Sporta. I low-key wasn't supposed to be in that gym that day. I just needed to get a workout in, and I didn't want to go across town. So I just went there, and I was supposed to pay $5, but nobody was at the desk. So I just kept it pushing. But so it's kind of wild how it worked out that like that's not my normal gym. And I think I've maybe worked out at that gym maybe one other time outside of the time I saw you there. So when I saw you, I was like, oh nah, I gotta connect with bro. So then that's when we really started to connect. And I was like, yo, like I think that, we should work together. And then boom, we got it popping from there. But yeah, so that's how I met Jairon. Now, obviously, you guys are a married couple, so you guys are doing business together. So number one, I want to kind of jump from here. So Jairon, like, so we started working together, right? So
Yeah.
what was your first overall impression of Best Bet Skills Academy and kind of what you were learning?
So if I was to recommend Best Bet Dan Academy to anybody, don't get overwhelmed. It is a lot of good information. It's like imagine making your favorite recipe, right? Or your favorite meal, and you got all the ingredients in front of you. You just don't know how to put it together just yet. There are a lot of tools and skills that you will learn that will essentially just progress you in life. Or, excuse me, I said progress you in life.
Yeah, yeah.
And whatever venture that you're doing, whether it's personally or business. For myself, I had the pleasure of learning skills such as marketing and networking, and I'm like, wow, these are things that I really want to get better at. And through Best Bet Then Academy, I was able to learn just that.
Word. That's awesome. That's awesome. And then you introduced me to your wife. He was like, nah, like you gotta work with my wife here. So Zay, what about Best Bet, really caused you to want to like tap in?
Oh my God. I think just our personal talks, like
Mm.
after he would get off the phone with you, how I hear you talking to him, just that motivation aspect in athletic, because he was looking into football and you would be talking to him about that. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I was trying to do a clothing brand after I spoke to you and after we
Hmm.
spoke. I'm like, but I just don't have the mentor. I don't have that motivation. Like a lot of networking stopped me and hold me back. And just like that push, I think I needed a mentor for that push. And I think you gave me that really inspired me after speaking to you. I think we spoke on a Zoom call for like an hour and 30 minutes. And after that call, I'm like, no, like I gotta work with him. Like he brought so much just from that one call. Like I think I need that. That's the missing piece. So after
Hmm.
our conversation is just me telling you where I'm stumped at or just things that are holding me back and hearing your advice really it changed 2024 really changed my perspective on so much things business wise that I didn't know about and you gave that to me, so thank you so much for that.
So you're welcome. And it was crazy. I want to kind of because you're talking and I thought about like the nature of how we work together, right? So
Yeah.
it ended up being crazy that with both of you guys, it was kind of unorthodox because Jaren, with your schedule, you really couldn't make a lot of the coaching calls. And then I know Zay, you had stuff going on. So I would literally run into y'all at the Y because then so we met at LA Fitness, but then we was going to we still go to the same Y together. So I would run
Yeah.
into y'all, and then like every time I saw y'all, it turned into like a 30-minute coaching conversation, like on the spot. Like we would just go in because it was just like, I don't know, like I'm the type of person like, nah, you locked in with me, so you gonna get this information whether I got to come find you or if they tap in. So that was really dope to just kind of have those experiences. We literally be on the exercise floor, just kind of going in and just talking about networking stuff, sales stuff, and stuff with building the business. So
Yeah,
it
one
was.
thing that stood out if I can mention is a few months ago, I was talking about my brand to you, the Keeper's Flex, right?
Mhm.
And you made such a good point where I didn't really know the identity that I wanted to go through with my clothing brand. And you told me that the name that I picked is so unique. And I had that name, that concept of the Keeper's Flex, right? I'm the keeper and my clothes are my flex and what I bring to the table for people. But when you told me to turn the keeper into a character, oh my God. That literally blew my mind. I'm like, yeah, the keeper's me, but when you described it as make it somebody to the internet, like tell your story, bring that to life. That changed the game for me completely. And behind the scenes, like you said, I was working all the time. Just know that behind the scenes, I was literally stressing myself out in a way to like try to create the reality that you told me about and make this character into somebody and make it as me. Like I'm the character. So what am I trying to bring? What
Yeah.
statement am I trying to make? How am I trying to be different? think out of the box,
And
you know?
can I butt in real quick? Thanks to you,
Absolutely.
Jen. That was a long car ride home. I'm talking about it was a great conversation, but I'm driving. I'm like, I can't write everything down right now, but this
Yeah.
everything is so good, you know.
Word. Nah, that's I love that. I love that. So you
Yeah.
guys have embarked on a business journey together. So you guys have I want to say within the last, I want to say 6 to 7 months, started
Mhm.
your business. And it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
leveraging success.
Yeah.
So tell everyone all about leveraging success and what you guys plan to do and how you plan to serve people.
I like to give people the raw, the real, the uncut. If it wasn't for this woman right here, leveraging success probably wouldn't be what it is today.
Mm-hmm.
She is, I literally say the brains of the operation because we both learned about credit. You know, we both have our individual journeys, but if it wasn't for her saying, no, we need to step out and help others, we probably wouldn't be here today. You know,
Mm.
she's really that the teacher, I want to say. She loves to help. And without that, you know, again, I can't say it enough. We wouldn't be here today speaking, you know.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
So tell
I,
me about the business. What are you guys doing? How are you helping people? And what does your ideal client look like?
so the main thing of how we're trying to help people right now is just putting people in the best situation possible for credit and to get funding because we do work with a lot of entrepreneurs, young-minded people, just like, ourselves from the beginning.
And how
Just
old are you
clearly,
guys, if you don't mind me asking?
oh yeah, yeah, go ahead.
24.
And
Mhm.
I'm 22.
Okay, cool. All right, so
Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, just putting people in the best situation possible. We help people clean their credit, and for like the elders, we do their credit for them. Like we clean their credit for them. Right now that's on pause, under construction a little
Yeah,
bit.
you're definitely gonna bring that back.
Yeah, we're gonna bring it back. We're mainly right now in the situation we're in is teaching people. So we created an academy where we're putting all the sauce, everything that we begin to learn, anything that can help people, we put it all in that academy and they can just join and they can teach themselves. So you can add a little bit
Yeah,
more what you
so
want to say.
essentially that's where we put everything that we've been through, our mentors done told us, because you learn a lot from trial and error, and you learn a lot from your mentors as well. And one of the things that I always tell people, you know, that's not in the entrepreneur mindset is you're gonna pay either two ways. It's essentially up to you, but however you want to pay, it's up to you. It's either gonna be you're gonna pay with your money or you're gonna pay with your time. Now, for us, we say instead of wasting 2 to 3 or even 5 years or more trying to learn this stuff on our own, why not go to somebody who's been through this process already? So we connected with a ton of mentors. They guided us through a bunch of steps, gave us a bunch of tools. We tested it, it worked, and we relay that information to our members now in our community so they can now go ahead and not only remove these negative items for themselves, but also for others that could be their families. And then they can learn how to start their business and begin to help others as well.
Awesome. So I kind of want to just dive in a little deeper. So you guys are talking about credit and helping people with credit. So right now at the space you're in, right? Who is your ideal client and how exactly can you help them? Like what are you doing for your customers?
Oh yeah, our ideal client right now is obviously anybody with a bad credit report, negative items that's reporting or affecting their credit report, and the age range could be anywhere from 25 on up to I want to say 55. You know, we have a client who's I don't want to say older, but up in age, and
Seasoned.
yeah, there you go. See, one of their goals is to get a new home, and she does need some help on her credit report, and she's relying on us to go ahead and take care of that issue for her. So again, anybody who's really struggling with credit to obtain financing.
But that's not limited. We do have young-minded people like 18, 19 years old that didn't even build their credit yet and that don't even know about credit at all. So that's where our ebook comes in and we break everything down.
Hmm.
Credit utilization, what can you put on your report to start building that credit, like going as an authorized user on someone else's account. What would I say? Credit builders. Applying for credit builders to start building that history. So our ideal client is what he described, but we do offer services for younger folks.
Because as soon as you turn 18, that
Yeah,
credit you can
it's
start
so
building it, and you
important.
can literally start utilizing it.
Yeah.
Got it. And you mentioned the ebook. So where can people find your ebook?
So we do have hard copies. We do have our Shopify website where we sell our ebook on there, and
Okay.
we promote it on Instagram so they can find the platform. We have a link that we can send to people.
Okay. All right. And I'll make sure I put that in the show notes as well too, so people can
Okay.
tap into it
Definitely. Yeah,
right
definitely.
there. And what's the name of the link, by the way?
So it's leveragingsuccess.org, and it'll take you right there.
Leveragingsuccess.org.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. And I'll make sure that that is in the show notes. So,
Perfect.
you guys are a new business, right? So
Yeah.
it's interesting being a new business owner and being in business. And because even with me, Best Bet is still new. I'm still within my first 5 years, right? It's
Yeah.
this weird just irony of things where you have all of this excitement because you have a service, you have something that's amazing that you want to offer to the world, but then you're a new business, right? And you don't have an identity. So, what are you guys doing right now to build your identity? And how are you kind of handling and juggling that idea of, man, I got something great, but we still in the trenches because we need to build our brand and build our clientele?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I look at it from an athlete's perspective. You know you're great, but you have to show that to the world. And what that entails is you need results. So the more results we can bring, the more trust we can gain from not even having a conversation with a client. They can look at the results and say, whatever they're doing, it works. So definitely honing in on the results and continuing to help people clean their reports.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, I would say that proof that matters. Like even in our school academy, we have a tab where we have wins, and we really stress to our clients that after you remove something, say that. So everybody that's joining can see that there's progress being made, like
Mm-hmm.
we're not just saying it, we actually are helping people and it works. We're not gonna be lying to because that's like you said, when you're a new business, it's hard to prove what you got going on if you
Right.
don't have no results from people.
Right.
And as far as what we got going on, like there is proof in it. But from the other people, like say I'm starting a clothing brand and I'm trying to get this great product and I haven't sold anything yet. I haven't sold, like I haven't put it on people yet, but I have to prove I'm the product, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I can't be silent. I have to market. And that's another thing that we're going to go into that I want to deep dive into a little bit that I've also learned from your academy is marketing yourself. You're the first product of your brand. We're the first products of our brand. So our voice matters. We have to speak. If we're silent and we're always hiding behind closed doors, we can't really get the results that we want. And that's another thing that I took from your academy, putting yourself and out of your comfort zone, I should say, because I've always been the shy girl. Like I know the potential that I have, but I don't post my face. I don't go out and, like that. Like I said, 2024 was really a learning year for me and stepping out of my comfort zone.
I love that. I love that. So, and it's funny. This right here, this next segment, this is for specifically for young people that are, even for even parents too that are watching. So now you both, if I'm correct, have well, Jaren, I know you've been to college because you played college football, and Zay, you did some time in college as well, correct?
Did some time in college in Florida, but I ended up leaving
Okay.
because I knew that
That's where
college
I'm
was
about to
boom.
go. That's where I'm
Yeah,
about to go.
yeah.
And it's funny, I said you did some time like it was jail. How many years you do? No. So the reason why I went there, right, is because we have so many young people that are in a situation where that they have what I call the partial degree, meaning they've gone to school for 1, 2, or 3 years, but they don't have a completed paper, right? So in some cases, they have student loan debt, or debt in general that they amassed because maybe they're not working because they're in school full time, so they got credit cards and things like that. Here's what I want to ask you, and I'm asking a very pointed question because I want to wake some people up, right? So you guys are students in Best Bet Skills Academy, and I know that you guys also have other coaches that you've worked with in terms of learning the stuff you learned about credit and things like that. So when you think about this, the coaching side, right? So let's split it in half. We have coaching over here, and then we have traditional education in college over here. What are you guys using from traditional school in your day to day and running your business, if anything? And what are you using from the coaches that you've worked with? And just talk about the difference in the utility of the information that comes from each side.
Yeah, man. Wow. So this question here, it's a lot to unpack because from traditional school, even when we start kindergarten, I feel like school teaches us how to be an employee and how to work for somebody else's company to build somebody else's dream. Now, as far as my college education, how much do I use today in my day-to-day life? I want to say less than 1%. I don't. I'm not going to knock school and just say
Just
it's
do it.
terrible.
Just do
But right,
it.
but yeah, I definitely don't use like anything from my diploma that is in my day-to-day life. You know, paying for a coach or having that mentor has really accelerated me as far as the goals I want to achieve in life because that's somebody who's at where I want to be and been through what I've already been through. So they can tell me the bumps and the bruises that to expect or to watch out for, if that makes sense.
Got it. Got it. And I want to point that out. And the reason why I'm pointing that out is because I want to get more parents and more young people to see, nah, coaching could be the route. Coaching could be it. So even for you, Zay, like what would you say is the difference between traditional education and coaching? Or what have you seen has been the difference for you?
To say the same to piggyback off what Jaren's saying, like we are so like a lot of parents, education, 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 but what really is education? You know, you have to sit back and ask yourself that. Because the stuff that I've learned from high school, what really I could say that I took from is the psychology class that I took and just math. Because as we know now, everything is about numbers.
Mhm.
As I get older, everything is really about numbers. So just always wanting to be an entrepreneur since I was like 13, 14 years old. I knew I wanted to be a businesswoman, and college wasn't what really for me. But now in the stage that I am in, I feel like everybody needs a mentor.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a mentor, especially if you're getting in the space of athletic ability, right? Be it with your body, your mind. We all need a mentor, and there's always somebody that knows more than us. You know, there's a lot of people that lock themselves in a space like, oh, I know what I'm talking about. But sometimes you need someone to hold your hand through the process. That's not, it shouldn't make you feel less than, you know? So
Mhm.
to all the parents out there and to all the kids out there, really consider it because it can really help you in the long run.
And real
Word.
quick too, and I just want to piggyback off of what they were saying. If you're trying to obtain a skill, get that mentor. It's going to save you the time. Again, do you want to pay with your money or do you want to pay with your time? I always tell people, don't look at it as in an aspect of okay, I have to pay this person $100 or I have to pay them 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000. You can always get your money back. Trust that.
That's a fact.
You'll be able to make $10,000 over 10,000 times, you know, as long as you have the time to do so. Time is something you can never get back. So always keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. It's interesting. So I just started working with a young man a couple of days ago. He's 15, and he's in Florida, and it's funny. So he was supposed to he's supposed to do a few things and then get back to me, and he didn't. And so I followed up with him, and I kind of had an inkling. I was like, I think he's just scared. I think he's a little intimidated. So I went outside of my script, right? Because I have a program in the way I do things, but I'm able to see people, right? And as a coach, we have that flexibility where we can see people and say, you know what, just like how I saw y'all. I wasn't making the calls. Y'all about to get this work at the gym. And we had, and it's funny, like, and it wasn't a situation where I was holding y'all hostage. Like we
Yeah.
had like great dialogue and back and forth while we were sitting in the gym. Just, that's when it happened. So that's when it happened. But so I ended up getting on the phone with him and I walked him through I walked him through the intro video, like I know the first video with the airplane. So I walked him through that
Yeah. Yeah.
video, the introduction and networking video, and then we did a lesson together, right? So I just sat on the phone with him and I just walked him through that because again, as a coach, it's not about, a final exam. It's not about getting through curriculum because I need, I'm trying to hit some sort of benchmark for a greater body of education. Nah, I just got to walk my guy through it. I see the potential. I interviewed him. I knew he was a good fit, but like, I'm just going to take the time and go above and beyond to make sure that like whatever he's feeling, whatever intimidation or whatever just, I don't know, fear he has, we're going to get that out the way because as you guys know, that information is so powerful. And if you're working with me, like if you're locked in, oh yeah, nah, ain't no switching up. Like we gonna make sure you get to it. So that's really awesome. And for the listeners out there, I always draw this comparison. I always make this point because we are so quick to give money to a university and to pay top dollar to colleges, and we're not quick to keep that system accountable. That's
Yeah.
crazy, right? Like I've
Yeah.
asked so many young people the question about, hey, what are you using from college? I'm talking about they're currently enrolled. Like when the semester's over, what's something that you're going to take out of the semester and it's going to help you in your day to day? And they just look at me with a blank stare, like, I don't think anything really. And so
Yeah.
that's always a point that I'm trying to drive home, is that if you're going to spend your money, right? If you're going to um investments, make investments that will pay dividends. So I got some more questions for you guys. Give me one second. I'm just gonna refer to them one more time. So what makes you guys unique? I'm gonna come back to your business, in terms of what you guys are doing at leveraging success. Like what's your secret sauce? Like there is I know that the credit repair industry is something that is booming. There's no shortage of places and people that are doing this kind of work. What makes you guys different?
Honestly, one thing I always say is us being transparent with our clients, letting them know everything that's happening behind the scenes, how it's happening, when it's happening, and what to expect from whatever their situation or scenario is. Always just inform them, making sure they're knowledgeable and they're not scared to go through it.
Yeah, I would say we do all the underwriting. Like a lot of the times when we're on social media, we might hear like, oh, a new TransUnion play or a new funding plan. We're like, oh yeah, we got to get on this. So we do it and it may not work. And we're like, we do more underwriting and we come to find out that that wasn't true. We give that to our clients.
Mm-hmm.
Social media is such a big thing. Like you said, the credit space is such a huge thing. But sometimes with me personally, I tie myself to social media and the quick videos that might be like, oh my God, that could work. But
Mm-hmm.
then, when we do the underwriting, we go to these banks, we look more into these situations, it comes out and it's not true. So definitely transparency with our clients and communication is our top priority. And that goes a long way. Continuously networking with our customers, like they're our family, like they're our friends. Like you said, if I see you in the street, I know that you talk to me. I could give you like right there, like I'm gonna still give you that sauce because we're together. You feel me? Like we working together. So just creating that community of friends and family, transparency and communication.
And then, yeah, one more thing I would like to add as well to that is just being informational before we be transactional.
Mm.
Even like the credit repair industry, you see a lot on the internet. You can definitely do it yourself. A lot of people may not have the time to do it, or they may not have the knowledge to do so. So if we can be informational before we be transactional, really gaining the client's trust to move forward with this.
Yeah, because a lot of people are money hungry. Paid $998 and join this, and then
2000.
yeah, 2000, and then they don't get those results. Like we had one client that came to us, and I think she's like 52 or something, and she was just pouring her feelings out to me. Like she signed up for this one credit repair agency, and they blew her over. She got their ebook, and everything was like the wordings was all distraught. Like nothing made any
Oh
sense.
no.
She paid so much money and her credit score was still the same. And she was working with them for, I think, a year and a half. And hearing that, like I said, really being an ear for these clients, like, we're going to help you, and our results are proven to help people. So there's nowhere in our end, but you got to just trust us and we can move and we can run forward and you can get that house, you can get that apartment and you can get that loan and anything you need, but you have to trust us. So it starts with trust. It starts with trust.
I love that. I love that. And I know
Yeah.
that's one of the things that we talk about in Best Bet when it comes to sales, because sales is not something that you do to people, it's something you do for them. And
Yeah.
one of the armors of sales is information. When you are nerded out on that thing that you are selling, that thing that you're offering, it makes people become at ease because, oh, you're a product of the product. I think about like my favorite salespeople, low key, are tech geeks because they're so anti-sales, but they know everything. So they're almost condescending about it.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh yeah, you can get a SSD. You can no not SSD. You can get a regular hard drive, but I mean, if you want your stuff to be better or have, better whatever, you'll get a solid state. And it's kind of like blow you off and it's like walk away. Like, I mean, dang, I see you, but all right, I'm gonna go with the solid state. Like, you know what I mean? There's no effort to sell you because they're so confident in what they know. And I feel like, that's the route that you guys are taking, which is amazing because that's what people are looking for. They're looking for people who will tell them the truth. They're looking for people who will say, hey, this is what it is, and this is what we'll have to do to help you, and this is what it costs. And you can take it or you can walk.
Exactly, exactly. And not being lied to, like you just said, credit repair is a very tough industry. We have to constantly prove ourselves. We have to constantly be in the loop of what's the new trend, what's going on, what constantly because it's all about trust when you actually think about it. Because a lot of people don't trust you with their information. They don't trust you with their money. They don't trust you. All right, you're holding my credit report. That's
Right.
my lifeline. That's
Right.
that's what I'm gonna be able to be approved for. That's you get what I'm saying? So like it goes in with a lot of trust, reassuring our clients, like that's so important to us.
Got it. Got it. So, all right. Getting ready to wrap up this interview, I'm gonna ask you guys a few questions to close things out. Number one, being new business owners, right? What is advice that you would give to others that are getting ready to start a business?
Knowledge. You must obtain the knowledge first. Don't try to get into the water not knowing how to swim. Have somebody teach you how to swim so you can survive out in the water. Entrepreneurship is very glaring online, but once you actually step into the field, you realize, okay, it's more to whatever they were saying on the internet. It's different things for different industries, but always do your due diligence and try to obtain as much knowledge as possible so you can be suited for the situation at hand.
I
I
would
like that.
say warning people about the ups and downs. Like it's not going to be easy. There's going to be moments where you just want to give up. Like, all right, I could just do that regular 9 to 5 and I can just get that easy money. But this is a lifelong thing. You don't have to work for anybody.
Hmm.
So just keeping that motivation, like Jaren said, getting a mentor is so important because you don't know everything.
Hmm.
You're not going to know everything. You're not going to always know
Right.
where to start or the best solution or the best situation to put yourself in. So I would say being patient and when you're stressed out, take that time. It's okay to say, all right, I'm gonna leave this off right now. Let me rejuvenate 20 minutes and let me hop back into it. Don't give up. It's going to be at peak moments where you're gonna want to quit. I'm not gonna lie. Like there's some times where I want to give up because it's stressful. But there's at the end of the line, there's so much excitement. There's
Right.
so much excitement, and you gotta romanticize what you're doing, meaning fall in love with your work. Once you fall in love with it, it's going to, you're going to be encouraged to keep going.
Right. Right. And no shade to the W-2 people. No shade. We're just entrepreneurs, so we're
No
speaking
shade
that
at all. No
language.
shade. No
You know what I
shade.
mean?
No shade.
All right. My next question to get ready to close things out is, um, if you can each give me kind of something that has really stood out from Best Bet that you feel like, you know what, that was a game changer for me. Like that particular principle, like I find myself using it, more often than not. What would you guys say?
Favorite is honestly learning how to sell. I stumbled across a quote that said, "Don't be America's best kept secret." So you can have the best product, but if you don't know how to market it or sell it, nobody will ever know about it. So really learning how to sell and the ins and outs of it really helped me, grow as an entrepreneur.
Love that.
Yeah, I would say taken from your course, definitely networking. You gave me a different perception of it. I know one thing that I was listening to the other day on your course was networking is not necessarily putting yourself in a room full of people and just talking to everybody. That's not what networking is. It's taking those connections, having those conversations, and taking it out of that situation. So if I
Right.
go to an event and I meet like 10 different women and they're amazing. And then I leave and don't get any of their contacts or don't get any like equity from that. What's the point of networking? You get what I'm saying? That's not networking. So just talking is not really networking. And I thought that was. That's what I thought
Mm,
networking was. So
okay.
you gave me a whole different insight on that after listening to your course and really braining it in my brain, like, yeah, networking, 100%.
Facts. I tell people like if you didn't get their contact information, you didn't meet them. It didn't happen. It didn't
Literally,
happen because you got no control in that situation. You might give them your
exactly,
number, but who's to say they're gonna call you? You have no
exactly.
control. So
And after when we met you, I remember, oh my God, it was so funny. A few situations where we would meet people, and
Go ahead. Go ahead and say it.
Jairon would give them their phone, like he would give them his phone number, and we would
okay.
walk away. And I'm like, why would you do that? Dan said not to do that. Give their information because you won't be able to call them.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
people forget, but you
Right.
have control. So you just gave control totally to that person, and
Right.
you'd be like, dang.
Right. They can't be trusted.
Yes, it was so funny. And then we'll be in the car and I'll be like, Dan's gonna be so disappointed. And he was like, dang. And I have a call with him today too. So no,
Uh,
definitely getting people's contact is something so strongly that we took about and that we be mindful of now moving forward.
Look, trial and error. You
Yeah.
learn, you live, you learn.
Yeah.
Look,
and to
my
think
mentor
that's
told
what's
me.
right. And that's the beauty of it is that
Yeah.
like information is one thing, but when you have that coach, you have that mentor that is in your ear, like, hey, we gotta change behaviors. We have to build skill. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, Jaren, you've played football for years, you know, and playing linebacker, a tackle is second nature for you. But it's because you've tackled thousands of times. You've practiced tackling thousands of times. You know what I mean? Like, we could show somebody how to tackle today, but if they don't practice. And if we put them on a college field, they're gonna get ate alive.
Yeah, it's gonna be different. It's
It's
definitely
gonna
gonna
be
be
ugly. It's gonna be real ugly. Well, I just want to say in closing that I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate giving me the opportunity to work with you guys. I don't take it lightly being able to do what I do. And I love it. I love what I get to do. I enjoy it. And so I'm looking forward to just so much success from you guys and hearing, you know, how your story continues to unfold. And what I want to know, what I want everyone to know is that they're still locked in with me. So stay locked in. We got a coaching call
Yeah, we
tonight at
definitely
7.
will.
So if you ain't doing
Yeah,
nothing, pull up.
this is
Yeah.
just the beginning.
Word. So but I'm super proud of you guys and what you're doing. And just the fact that you are using what you're learning, not just from me, but from the other coaches and mentors that you have in your life, and that you're building your own path and you're finding the resources that are really giving you guys the best bet, you know, to create the life of your dreams. So thank you guys so much for being on the show. Thank you for letting me be a part of the journey. And listen, y'all, what's you guys' social media? Where can they find you on social?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So our Instagram is leveraging success. You guys can follow us there. Also, be sure to check out our page as we're posting daily content that's very educational, very informational. If you guys just follow the page, you'll be able to clean your credit report just from that.
Yeah. Thank you
Absolutely.
so much, Dan. I want to also hop off what you said, but thank you so much. We really appreciate what you have taught us and what you continue to teach us. We're just looking forward to the future and our relationship with you. Like I said, this is just the beginning. We're gonna probably have you pop up in our meetings and talk to some of our clients that we have because they would be, I don't know, I think you could really value,
Yes,
great value to their life right now. So yeah.
I love that. I love that. Well, hey, y'all, this has been another episode of the Best Bet Show where we talk about high impact social skills that are giving you and will give you the best bet of creating the life of your dreams. So thanks again to our guests, Jairon and Zay. You guys all have an excellent week, and we will see you next week. Peace.
Street smarts and book finesse. Mix 'em up, that's your best. This is the best show. Guiding your soul.